Hello YouTube, it's Keith Kevin Ken. How you doing? How you doing? Today I want to talk about Spyderco's just released list of discontinued knives. I like to do the discontinued knives every time that they do this. It's because a couple of things happen when Spyderco discontinues knives. First of all, you know that if you own the knives, no more are being made or sold. So your knife has just become a little bit more limited, right? The other reason is some of the favorites that you might have always wanted to buy, now you might be able to get them at a discount price. I noticed as soon as Spyderco announced discontinued knives, Blade HQ has a sale on all of the discontinued Spyderco knives that they have on the shelves. Other distributors do the same. So here's the deal, and every time I do one of these, someone comments, and they're right. They comment and say, "Hey, Kevin, doesn't this mean the prices are going to go up?" Yes, but there's this small time, a couple of months, when you can actually get good deals on these knives, because people know that Spyderco has discontinued them, and if they still have them on the shelves, they want to move them. But when you talk about a year or two from now, some of these knives are really going to be expensive and hard to find. So let's talk about it. Let's start with this. This is the Little Lum Chinese folder. Bob Lum, great knife maker, who passed away several years ago. He did a number of Lum folders. This is the Chinese folder. He did a super large one, a medium one, and now this is the Little Lum that Spyderco came out only about a year or two ago. This is a limited edition knife that Spyderco came out with and just discontinued it. Now, here's a couple of other things about discontinued knives from Spyderco. A lot of times they're discontinued because they just aren't selling at all. Another time they discontinued them is because they just need to make room for the new knives that they're bringing out. Go check on my playlist. I did the discontinued knives from 2017. And there were like 3 times more knives discontinued last year than you'll see this year. And the reason is they had a lot of knives still current, and they needed to clean them off so that they could do more different variations, etc. This is a real unique knife. I like it. This is the Spyderco One-Eyed Jack S30V steel 2.4, 2.5 inches, 6 inches total. Just a beautiful knife. One-Eyed Jack, the heart, the Jack of heart and Jack of spades only has one eye. The real nice part of this knife, it's a smaller knife, stainless steel bolster, and this white smooth G10, which is some of my favorite from Spyderco. I love their white G10. And look at the back spacer. Really tooled out. It feels like a custom knife. Look at that. Stainless steel liner, stainless steel back spacer, the wire clip. It's right hand, tip up only. Liner lock, just a beautiful knife. Is it expensive? Yeah, it's pretty expensive. Let's see. What do they have? I can't see through the phone. Just a real beautiful knife. This one, I'm sure, didn't sell that much because of the price. In fact, whenever I showed it, I always got comments of people saying, "Yeah, Kevin, I see that, but I don't know if I want to spend that much money for a knife with just S30V steel." This is the Aura Boris. This is just a real nice knife. But the shape is a little different. Not just a little different, very different. But man, when you put it in your hand, it melts in the hand with this choil right here. And yes, the handle looks strange, but it fits nice. Plus, with that wide blade, when you put it in, it fits pretty nice in the pocket as well. The Boris, 2.8 inches. Of course, you take out that choil out of that, it's 2.4. Weighs 2.6 ounces. This is G10, and the great thing is they have the Spyderco compression lock right there. Of course, they need the compression lock because that real thin, see that thin part of the scales? Not a lot of locks would work in that area, but the compression lock did. Of course, it has embedded stainless steel liners. It has this wire clip, a real small wire clip. This fits nice in your pocket. Left hand, right hand, tip up only. It's the Boris. Boris is like a snake. If you ever see like the symbol of a snake eating its tail, that's the Boris. Oh, I have a collection of these knives. Really, some of my favorite. It's the Spyderco Chaparral. I still think the Chaparral is one of the least discussed knives and one of the best knife series from Spyderco. It is a wonderful knife series. They all have the exact same profile. Unlike the Sage series, where the Sage series is a tribute to these wise men who created all of the locks that we have come to enjoy, the back lock, the Chris Reeve integral frame lock, etc. But this is just a nice, very, very, very nice gentleman's folder series. It started with the carbon fiber version as one. This is two. This is the titanium version. It has a little texture to it. It's smooth titanium, but you can feel it a little bit. One thing about the Chaparrals is they're expensive. So the last couple of Chaparrals from Spyderco, they have really tried with FRN scales and other things to get the price down. But man, it's so well built. CTS, XHP steel on all of them. They have that wonderful Spyderco leaf shape. 2.7 inches total. But look, it has a full 50-50 forward choil to put your hands. Oh man, when they write down gentleman's folder, this is what they mean. 6.4 inches total, 2.7 inches for the titanium. So this is Chaparral number 2. That's discontinued. They discontinued Chaparral number 3. Again, titanium. This time it's 3D titanium. You can feel every bit of this pattern inside of the scales. Again, strong back lock. Exactly the same dimensions as the first one. Again, the wire clip. Right hand, left hand, tip up only. And that strong back lock. But man, these are just wonderful knives. A little bit expensive, but this will be a time during that couple of periods when I told you that you can get good deals like from people now that Spyderco has said they're discontinued. Mark my words, now that these knives have been discontinued, there's still some that are still available. But now that the titanium ones, the more expensive ones, have been discontinued, if you're a collector, 2, 3, 4 years, these are going to be unbelievable, hard to find, wonderfully made knives. This one, I call it number 4. A lot of people just call it number 3 with this one. It took me a couple of months. I even carried them a couple of times, and I didn't realize that this one is exactly like that one, except that it blue anodization within some of the patterns. But doesn't it look like just a different knife? Quality made knives, the Chaparral series. They have just discontinued the 3 titanium Chaparrals. Good time to look at it and talk about a classic. Last year, Spyderco discontinued a lot of classics, and then they proceeded to present some other knives in their replacement. But let me tell you something. This is the Sage 2. Sage 2. You can argue which Sage is the best. Sage 5 with the compression lock, Spyderco actually patent themselves on the back for the compression lock with the Sage 5, which I think they should patent on the back because the compression lock is wonderful. This was the second one. This was a tribute to Chris Reeve and his integral frame lock. Again, with the Sage, you guys know what that is. Same profile, same steel, same everything, but the locks are different. Each one of them taking a look at the lock and a tribute to the knife maker who created it. This is Chris Reeve. That's why they have the titanium scales for the handle, like a Chris Reeve Sabinza. It doesn't look like it, but that's what it represents. Again, I always say that the Chaparral is like a smaller Sage. Doesn't it look like it? Bigger on the Sage, but man, what a beautiful classic. The Sage 2. 3-inch blade. Again, the 50-50 choil, just like the Chaparral. Oh, I love the Sage 2. 2.6 inches of edge. The total length of the entire knife is 7.1 inch. 3.6 ounces. Again, the wire clip. Right hand, left hand tip up. This is a beauty. If you can find the Sage 2, buy it. It's just a perfect EDC knife. It just is. Unless you like bigger knives, but this is just really cream of the crop Spyderco. You probably can get it at a really nice price. But when these things are discontinued, again, maybe a future knife that'll be worth something. Remember the big hullabaloo about the Rubicon when it came out and how people didn't like it? It was too expensive. It had 3D. Oh, Spyderco went all out. 3D, carbon fiber, and everything, like a custom pivot. Just everything was nice. People did not like the steel. They wanted something bigger as far as the steel was concerned, because it was just S30V. Well, I think it was last year, or a little more than a year, Spyderco introduced the Rubicon 2. They understood that the first one was very expensive. So this time, they took off the carbon fiber and put G10. Well, no, they didn't. They put carbon fiber on top of G10 on it. Still have the titanium liners. They had a real fancy carved out backspacer with orange G10. They did the same here, but it's smooth in the back. Same S30V steel, same shape with that hollow ground. Regular pivot, and they had a custom clip on it as well. They took that off so that it could be very affordable. Well, I don't think a lot of people bit. This has been discontinued. This is one of those discontinued knives that happened real quick. But if you're looking for a Rubicon 2, real nice, really nice EDC knife. It's not the fancy one. 4 ounces, 3-inch blade, 2.7 inches of edge. Just a real nice knife with carbon fiber on top of G10, titanium scales, real nice flipper. That has been discontinued. And then they took care of the Mantra 2 last year, they just released the Mantra 3, which instead of the originals, this is the Mantra 1. They are now discontinuing that. They had the Mantra 1, Mantra 2, the Mantra 2 had a thinner blade. This is basically the Delica shape and blade, but it's a flipper. And the steel is CPM M4 steel, the steel you have to take care of. Just a wonderful steel. People got tired of that. They wanted a stainless steel, especially when you talk about the shape of a Delica and the fact that it flipped and it had titanium. So they came out with the Mantra 3, exact same shape, everything better, a little bit better flipping. And instead of titanium, instead of this steel, they had S30V steel, so you had your stainless steel. And instead of a full tie scales, they had carbon fiber scales. So they have now discontinued this, but let me tell you, if you want a flipping, I like the Mantra. Of course, you have to deal with CPM M4, which is an excellent steel. You just have to take care of it. It is not a stainless steel. That's the Mantra. And I did a video called How Much I Love My Patata, one of the ethnic series knives, made an Italian knife. It's so smooth. It has a liner lock. And I'll tell you, I'm worried when it drops every time I release the liner lock. See that? It is so smooth and wonderful. I fell in love with this knife. Part of the ethnic series of knives that Spyderco does, what they do is they get these wonderful elder statesmen in the knife business. They do a lot of research about worldwide knives from the past, and then they bring them to life using today's materials. And the Patata, to me, is just a wonderful, because of the belly, that little bit of belly, it's a good EDC knife, but man, look at this little knife. It's a great, to me, tactical knife. Most of the ethnic knives are knives like EDC knives, knives that hundreds of years ago people used. A lot of them weren't even folding knives. A lot of them are fixed blade knives throughout history that had to do a lot of things, right? EDC things as well as protect oneself with the knife. I really like the Patata. 3.8 inch knife. The total size 8.6 inches. Weighs 4.1 ounces. It has the Bowler N690 steel on this. It has just been discontinued. See-through construction. Has the wire clip on this knife. Right hand, left hand tip up, and man, it feels nice. And like I said, right out of the box, it's smooth as silk. I love my Patata. Go check out. By the way, all of these knives have their own videos on this channel. You can go check them out. Another ethnic series knife is the Euro Edge knife from Ed Shemp. He took a look at a lot of European knives from history and came up with this beast of a knife. Again, I love the ethnic series knives. Some of them are so overbuilt. This is one of them. Look at the double fillers on this side, the single fuller there to cut off some of the weight. Smooth G10 that I think Spyderco's so great on. You know, it has that kind of feel like a small sword. He just did a great job. Fullers on the handle as well. See that? It gives you a little bit of traction as well. It's just a nice knife. Stainless steel liners. Nice piece. Discontinued today, or just discontinued. That's the Euro Edge. If you find it, I'm sure they're discounting this. I'm sure a lot of people didn't buy. A lot of the ethnic knives are for collectors more than people who are just buying knives to use. I love this series. I really do. S30V steel, 3.9 inch blade. The edge, 3.6 inches. The total thing is 9 inches. It's a big, beefy knife. But man, it feels great in the hand. It really does. I only have 2 of the fixed blades that they discontinued. This is my baby. Yeah, they discontinued the Spyderco Bushcraft knife. I'm an urban guy, but I love to see bushcraft videos. But I love this knife. Big, thick handle. Again, so your hand doesn't hurt when you're using it a lot. That Scandi grind that a lot of bushcrafters like. This is 01 steel. You have to take care of it because, again, bushcrafters love to easy to sharpen kind of knife, and this is easy to sharpen kind of knife. Just nice. It comes with, do I have that around here? Oh man, a beautiful leather sheath. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. It comes with a beautiful leather sheath as well. Just a nice knife. This has been discontinued, so pick it up. I'm not gonna let that go. Here I am in one of the big cities on the East Coast, mostly in the office, but I know when I retire I'm going to do some camping and I want to have that knife handy. I just love the feel of it. And then my last fixed blade knife, I don't know, what do you do with the Spyderco chef's knife? I got it because I'm part of the Spyderco club. It's a real big knife, VG10 steel, 7.1 inch blade. Again, it's a chef's blade. You have one in your kitchen. You probably just don't have a fancy one like this that's a Spyderco knife with VG10 steel. 12.5 inches total, and this is Korean handle. You know, when they talk about, some of you probably have Korean on the in your kitchen, covering the, your sinks and everything. Just beautiful Korean. It feels so nice. It really does. That is the chef's knife that they have discontinued. Those are the knives that I have that they discontinued. I usually love this because I own so many knives. Some of them I sold in trimming. Here are the 4 that I don't own now, but they have been discontinued as well. The ATR2. I have 3 ATR2s, the classic ATRs. They just released the ATR2 last year, and they've already discontinued it. The Dialora 3, I have the original Dialoras, but go check out. By the way, the ATR2, the new one, that's on the site. Go check out the video. The Dialora 3 is on the site. The Stretch 2 with Brown G10 is on the site. I never bought the Manix 2 with the back lock, and that's because I have the original Manix, the regular size and the big size, and both of those, the Manix started with back locks. Okay, so I actually have the back lock ones. I never bought the newer ones. Those were just released last year, and they've already been discontinued. People don't want a back lock on their Manix. There you have it. Thought I'd give you guys a look at some of the knives that have been discontinued by Spyderco in October 2018. Remember, you have a couple of months. A lot of people, I know for a fact, Blade HQ has put all of these knives on sale. Some of them are real classics. Go try to find them. And once they're off of all the shelves, some of them will be very hard to find in the years to come. You guys have a perfect day. Keep those pockets full. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the new Spydercos as they come out, and a bunch of knives. Okay, so subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, and hit that hit notification, the bell right next to subscribe. That way you'll know when I put up videos. You have a perfect day. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.